My beloved child, something has happened behind the scenes that your soulmate's ex desperately hoped would never reach you. They believed the past could remain buried, that certain words would never be repeated, and that you would simply continue forward without discovering what truly changed everything. But now the silence is beginning to crack. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate's ex is practically begging you not to watch this message because there is one truth they never expected you to discover. For a long time, they thought they still understood your soulmate better than anyone else. They believed old memories gave them an advantage. But recently, something happened that completely changed that confidence. Your soulmate finally looked at the past differently, and suddenly realized that what they once considered important could never compare with the connection they now associate with you. That realization created a reaction nobody expected. Here is where everything becomes even more surprising. Your soulmate's ex may have noticed something before you did. Your soulmate no longer responds to the past in the same way. Old memories are losing their power. Old conversations no longer carry the same meaning. And there is one reason this matters. You became the person who changed their understanding of what a genuine connection could feel like. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The ex never wanted you to understand this because once you recognize what has changed, their influence over the story disappears. Your soulmate has apparently been thinking about conversations, moments, and feelings connected to you that they never fully explained. Something you once said stayed in their mind much longer than you realized. And recently, that memory returned at exactly the moment they were questioning what they truly wanted. But the biggest revelation is still ahead, because this story is not really about the ex, it is about what your soulmate finally understood after comparing yesterday with today. They realized that some people belong to chapters that have already ended, while others arrive and completely change the direction of the story. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. There is a reason the ex would rather you scroll away before hearing the rest. Your soulmate may finally be ready to stop allowing the past to control their next decision. A truth they avoided admitting is becoming impossible to ignore, and the next part reveals the moment everything shifted, the conversation that changed their perspective, the unexpected words that were spoken about you, and why your soulmate's ex immediately realized that things might never return to the way they were before. Something changed the moment your soulmate finally heard the words they had been avoiding for far too long. It happened during an ordinary conversation, but what was said suddenly made everything feel different. Someone close to them mentioned you, not dramatically, not as a joke, but with a simple observation that immediately made your soulmate go quiet. They were reminded of how differently they behave whenever your name appears, how their expression changes, and how they remember tiny details about you that they somehow forget about everyone else. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Their ex never expected anyone else to notice this connection, because they believed the past still had enough power to keep your soulmate emotionally confused. But that confidence disappeared when your soulmate stopped defending the past and started asking themselves a completely different question: why does this person still matter so much to me? And that question led them toward a realization they could no longer push away. Then came the moment the ex desperately wished could be erased. Your soulmate remembered something from the past that once seemed insignificant. A conversation with you, a moment of understanding, or simply the way you made them feel heard when they needed it most. Suddenly, the difference became impossible to ignore. Their ex represented memories filled with unfinished questions, while thinking about you brought clarity about what they wanted moving forward. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The shocking part is that nobody needed to convince your soulmate. They reached this realization themselves. They began understanding that constantly looking backward was preventing them from seeing what was directly in front of them. Their ex sensed that change immediately. The familiar emotional influence was fading. The old patterns were breaking. And your soulmate was becoming more certain about one thing: whatever happens next should be decided by what feels genuine now, not by what happened yesterday. Stay till the end, because one final detail changed the entire situation. Late in that conversation, your soulmate was asked one question they could not answer immediately: if you could speak completely honestly to the person who matters most to you right now, what would you say? Silence followed. But inside that silence was the answer their ex never wanted revealed. Your soulmate thought about you. They thought about everything left unsaid, every misunderstanding that created distance, and every moment when they almost reached out but stopped themselves. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because this is where the story takes its biggest turn yet. Your soulmate realized they were no longer afraid of admitting that you had changed something inside them. Now they are considering a decision that could finally close the door on an old chapter. But before they make it, there is something they need you to understand, something their ex discovered about their feelings before you ever knew it yourself. And once that secret comes into the open, the entire meaning of their silence could change. The secret was not hidden inside some dramatic confession, it was revealed through one tiny reaction your soulmate could not control. Someone mentioned the possibility of you moving forward without them, building a happier chapter, and no longer waiting for unfinished conversations. Your soulmate immediately became quiet. That silence said more than any speech could have said. Their ex noticed it too, and suddenly understood why your name had never truly become ordinary to your soulmate. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate had tried to convince themselves that time would make everything simpler, but hearing that you might completely move on forced them to confront what they had been avoiding. They realized there were words they still wished they had said, questions they still wanted answered, and one important misunderstanding they wished they could correct. That was the moment their ex understood something uncomfortable. The past might contain memories, but it could not decide your soulmate's future. What happened afterward made everything even clearer. Instead of returning to old memories, your soulmate started thinking about the moments connected to you that had remained unusually vivid. They remembered your kindness, your honesty, and the way certain conversations seemed to stay in their mind long after they ended. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Their ex expected nostalgia to pull your soulmate backward, but the opposite happened. Looking backward actually showed your soulmate how much they had changed. They began asking themselves whether they had allowed fear, pride, or uncertainty to create unnecessary distance between you. And then came the realization that completely shifted their perspective. Perhaps the strongest connection was not the one that demanded attention constantly, but the one that remained meaningful even through silence. Your soulmate could no longer pretend that your presence had meant nothing. Something about you had stayed with them, and now they were finally willing to understand why. But there is another layer to this story, and this is exactly why the ex would rather you never reach the end. Your soulmate is beginning to separate what was familiar from what is genuinely important. They are no longer asking, "What happened before?" They are asking, "What do I want to do next?" Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. That question changes everything because it places the future, not the past, at the center of their decision. And there is one conversation still unfinished, one truth still waiting to be spoken, and one choice your soulmate knows cannot be postponed forever. Their ex sensed this shift before anyone else did, because the moment your soulmate stopped looking backward, they started thinking seriously about what they would say if they finally had the opportunity to speak directly to you. And what they want to explain next could reveal why they stayed silent for so long. Tonight, the silence around this story finally begins to make sense, because your soulmate has reached the point where avoiding the truth feels harder than facing it. For a long time, they kept certain feelings locked behind uncertainty. They wondered whether too much time had passed, whether you would understand their side, and whether opening that unfinished chapter would create answers or more questions. But something recently changed. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate realized that silence can protect someone temporarily, but it cannot resolve what remains unfinished. Their ex noticed this change and understood exactly what it meant. The person they thought would always remain emotionally connected to yesterday was beginning to choose tomorrow. And the most surprising part was not that your soulmate remembered you, it was that they finally admitted to themselves why they remembered you. You represented a possibility they never properly explored, and that realization became impossible to ignore. Then your soulmate mentally replayed the moment when everything between you could have gone differently. They remembered words they should have explained more clearly and moments when fear or confusion prevented them from saying what they actually meant. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Suddenly, they understood that one misunderstanding may have influenced far more than either of you realized. Their ex had assumed distance meant your soulmate had forgotten, but distance had actually given them perspective. They began seeing which connections brought confusion and which ones encouraged them to become more thoughtful, honest, and mature. That comparison changed the entire picture. Your soulmate no longer wants another person, especially someone from the past, to decide what their future should look like. They want their next choice to come from clarity. And there is one truth becoming stronger inside them: if they ever receive another opportunity to speak with you, they do not want to waste it pretending nothing mattered. But now comes the revelation their ex never expected. Your soulmate is not simply thinking about returning to something old, they are thinking about approaching everything differently. No games, no confusing signals, no repeating yesterday. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. They understand that genuine connections require honesty, patience, and respect, and they know any future conversation would have to begin there. Their ex can feel the old chapter losing its influence because your soulmate has finally recognized something powerful. Familiarity and compatibility are not always the same thing. Now one final question remains in their mind. If they finally told you everything they had been holding back, would you understand why they disappeared into silence? The answer leads directly to the biggest turning point yet, because there is one specific truth about their past decision that they have never fully explained, and once it comes out, you may finally understand why their ex hoped you would never keep watching. Now the hidden reason behind your soulmate's silence is beginning to surface, and it is completely different from what everyone assumed. Your soulmate did not step back because every feeling disappeared. They stepped back because they were uncertain about what they could realistically promise while carrying unresolved emotions from their past. Instead of explaining that clearly, they became quiet, and that silence created a story of its own. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Their ex benefited from that confusion because as long as nothing was explained, yesterday could continue influencing tomorrow. But your soulmate has finally recognized the pattern. They understand that avoiding difficult conversations never truly closes a chapter, it simply leaves questions waiting. And one question has become impossible for them to ignore. What would have happened if they had been completely honest with you from the beginning? Then came an unexpected realization. Your soulmate began remembering the moments when you never demanded that they become someone different just to earn your understanding. They remembered conversations where being themselves felt easier, and suddenly those ordinary memories became more meaningful than dramatic moments from their past. Stay till the end. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Their ex could sense that comparison happening, because your soulmate stopped reacting whenever old memories were brought up. Instead, they became focused on what they had learned. The past was no longer something they wanted to recreate, it was becoming something they wanted to understand and move beyond. And somewhere inside that process, your name kept returning, not as an obsession, not as a fantasy, but as a reminder of an unfinished conversation. Your soulmate realized that before making any major decision, there was something they wished they could explain directly to you. And this is where the story changes again. Your soulmate has started imagining what they would actually say if that conversation finally happened. They would not arrive with dramatic promises or pretend the past never existed. They would explain why they hesitated, what they misunderstood, and why distance gave them a completely different perspective. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Their ex never wanted this moment because honesty removes the mystery that allowed the past to remain powerful. But your soulmate is beginning to understand that whatever happens next must be based on truth and mutual choice. And there is still one revelation they have not faced completely. Someone close to them already knows how important you became, because your soulmate accidentally revealed it during a conversation they thought nobody would remember. What they said in that moment changes everything, and it is the one detail their ex hoped would never reach you. What your soulmate accidentally revealed was not supposed to become important, but one sentence changed the entire conversation. Someone close to them casually asked what they would do if they had one chance to correct something from their recent past. Your soulmate hesitated, looked away, and admitted that there was one person they wished they had understood better before allowing distance to grow. They never needed to say your name. The person listening already knew. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. That realization traveled through the room like a silent shock because everyone had assumed your soulmate had completely moved forward. Their ex